Well, thought I'd try one of these rants out here while I'm walking my dog. So I'm 56 years old, and looking for a job. In the job market, the way you gotta look for a job nowadays, compared to when I was much younger, has changed so immensely. So when I go to Google, I type in what my profession is or what I'm looking for or anything like that. You know, I'm inundated with all these companies, and when you're new to this, you kind of fall for it. It's embarrassing, but you kind of fall for it, and you fill out all their crap, and then later you find out they're trying to find you a job. Like, that's not ever gonna happen, I don't think. I've met a couple of people that have had that done, and then they ended up paying, you know, money out of their paycheck every month to pay these people back. I don't know. So the whole job market thing has changed so much. Funny thing is you know, when they were downsizing, they let me go, and I know why they let me go, because I was making. They had headhunters come out and get me, so I was making like almost double what the other guys were doing. They were doing the same job, you know, and they probably figured out. Well, I know the manager figured out that I was making more than him, for God's sake, and he all of a sudden became my manager. So I don't think he wanted that. Anyway, so you got all this experience, you think you're going to go out in the job market and get a job real quick. And I'll tell you right now, you know, every one of these places say that they don't discriminate, right? And they do. They do, for sure. Like, as soon as they see my resume, they don't want to even talk to me, because I'm going to be asking for a lot. So I got to stop this right now and pick up this dog poop. Yeah, so they don't even bother to call you up and say, you know, how much do you want to be paid, or you work for less, or anything like that, right? As soon as they see your resume and they see all these, all the experience that you have, all the training that you've taken, they really don't want that. Which is crazy, because when I was younger, looking for a job, they'd always say, well, we're looking for someone with more experience. So it's kind of really a letdown, I guess. So then I see things like out there that I know are just bogus. For example, they say, well, university degree preferred or required, and they say things like you know, college diploma and all that stuff. Well, I know it's just it's not the way it really works, because I'll tell you that when I was working for a corporation, and they were posting jobs, and they had all these different techniques. But usually if they post a job, they already know who they're going to give the job to. But for some reason HR, don't get me started with those guys, they tell them they need to post it. So to stop people from getting the job from outside, they put things like university degree required. And of course the pay is so low that, you know, no university degree graduate's gonna freaking want that job. So, and they already know who's gonna take it. I've worked in different departments in the corporation, and I got the jobs not because I had to go and interview and everything. They just walk up to you and they go, hey, you know, we think you're a real cool guy, would you like to come work for our department? And you're like, sure. So that's how it happens. A week later, or even less, you're there working for them. Well, they do let you interview internally, because HR and possibly the people there need the training on how to interview you. Kind of lets everybody's hopes get up, and then they just drop them. And it's not like you're going to get a phone call or an email or anything saying, "Oh, you haven't been selected," or it's just time passes and you didn't get the job. So, and they say there's no discrimination. Well, that's bull. Corporation I was at, they had a guy that basically didn't come to work at all because of his race, I guess. I guess that's a mild way of putting it. So some of the other companies that we dealt with didn't want to deal with that race. So they paid him to stay home. And he did. And then when you're in the office areas, okay, you get all kinds of people. You know, you got every race, every religion. You got people with lisps. You got all kinds of people. But out of the 6,500 people that were there, I didn't see any that were crippled in a wheelchair. None at all. But we had all these elevators and everything for that. Also, on the shop floor, where all the tough guys are, I never seen anybody there that was like noticeably gay, no lisps. There was nobody there, you know, that wore turban. There was nobody there. It was all like the plain white Canadian kind of people. It's just you know, you're looking at it and you're going like, you say everything's fair, but is it? You know, I don't think it is. But anyway, so here I'm in the job market, trying to get a job, trying to walk my dog. It won't stop walking. She just keeps stopping and peeing. Maggie. So I'm here in the job market, and I'm finding it hard, you know. I'm getting close to retirement. I'm thinking I might. I don't know. I'm working on YouTube videos. Hopefully that will make me some money. Just a second. Well, I'm back. Yeah, so it's kind of weird being in this position, you know, having all this experience, knowing I'm really, really good at what I do, and nobody wants that. You know, it used to frustrate me watching them hire people for a lot of money that had zero experience, nothing. Had no training in anything, didn't know how to do anything, like didn't know how to work any of the Microsoft products, nothing at all. So they would just hire them. They'll just, really? Like, oh, that's so frustrating. And then you got to train them. You know, and I'd see jobs now that, like, you need a degree and all this crap. So one day, you know, you're working and then somebody says, "Hey, would you like to come work with us in engineering?" Oh, okay. So you've never worked 3D modeling tools. You've never worked any of this computer software that they use. And you're designing actual things, you know, like an engineer, but you're not an engineer. And almost, well, nobody there was an engineer. So we just kind of like always went to the engineers for help and stuff. But it's just funny that at any other time we would have had to hire a guy and we would have said, you know, you need a degree, and you need engineering experience, and you need to know how to use AutoCAD, and you need to use all these 3D modeling software, and oh god. But that's where the big lie is, and there's all these poor people trying to get good jobs, but for some reason a company wants to keep their own in, even if they're not qualified, even if they have no idea what they're doing. Oh, and even if they suck at their job, I've seen a lot of that. People that just literally destroy things, cost the company thousands of dollars, and there's no recourse, no reprimand, no nothing. It's crazy. None of it makes sense. Absolutely none of it. I wonder everybody's so frustrated. And I just want to say, I don't want you guys to feel sorry for me or anything. I'm just thinking, like, how much of a complete farce it all is, how much of a lie everything is. People get hired because their family members work for them, even though they say they don't practice that stuff. Anyway, really appreciate it if you subscribed and liked what I did. Just press the old like button. And I'm almost home now, walking my Scotty dog. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye for now.